It was a crisp, clear autumn morning in New York City when Tom Hanks finished filming for the day and sat down to relax. His phone buzzed with a message from one of his assistants, a brief note that immediately caught his attention. There's a woman named Emily Jacobs, a single mother working multiple jobs to support her family. Her story is one you need to hear. Tom skimmed the message. Emily's story struck a chord with him. She had been doing everything she could to survive, working as a waitress in a small cafe, trying to raise two young children while barely making ends meet. On top of that, Emily was trying to keep her dream of getting an education alive, but it seemed impossible with the mountain of bills and responsibilities she faced each day. The thought of having any time or energy left to pursue her personal goals was just a distant fantasy. Tom knew this feeling all too well, the weight of living paycheck to paycheck, constantly worrying about the future. He felt compelled to meet her, so he decided to visit Emily's neighborhood to get a better understanding of her life. The day was gray, and the streets of the city were busy with commuters and tourists. The hum of the crowd felt almost deafening as Tom walked through the streets. He had been here 1,000 times, but today there was something different in the air, a kind of weight that felt heavier than usual. He finally arrived at the small cafe where Emily worked, tucked away on a quiet corner of a bustling street. It wasn't fancy, but it had a charm to it. The smell of fresh coffee and pastries wafted from the door as Tom stepped inside. He could see her immediately behind the counter, Emily working diligently, her movements swift and practiced, yet there was an unmistakable weariness in her eyes. She greeted customers with a smile, but it didn't quite reach her eyes. She was tired, deeply tired, but still giving her all. It was clear she was doing her best, but something told Tom that her best wasn't enough, at least not in the way she deserved. Tom hesitated for a moment, unsure of how to approach her. She didn't seem like the type who would expect or want attention, especially from a famous actor, but he felt a strong pull to speak to her. Taking a deep breath, he walked up to the counter.
Hi there, are you Emily?
She looked up, blinking in surprise, as if trying to process the question. Yes, I am. Can I help you with something? Tom smiled, trying to keep things casual, though his heart was pounding a little.
I'm Tom Hanks. I've heard a lot about you and your story. Would you mind if we talked for a few minutes?
Emily froze for a second, looking at him with disbelief. Wait, Tom Hanks, the actor? He nodded, his voice warm and friendly.
That's me. I know this might seem a little strange, but I promise I'm not here to make a big deal out of it. I just want to hear your story.
Still somewhat in shock, Emily finally nodded. Okay, sure. She gestured toward an empty table at the back of the cafe. Why don't we sit and talk for a bit? They sat down in the corner, away from the buzz of the cafe. As they began to talk, Emily slowly opened up about her life. She spoke about the challenges of being a single mother, how she juggled two jobs just to pay the bills, the long hours, the exhaustion, and the constant worry about her kids' futures. It was overwhelming. I just want to be a better mother for them, she said quietly, her voice tinged with sadness. But it feels like no matter how hard I work, it's never enough. I'm always running on empty, and my dreams, they feel so far away. Tom listened intently, nodding. He could feel the weight of her words.
I hear you, Emily,
he said, his voice soft but sincere.
but I also see something in you. You're not just surviving, you're fighting. You've got the heart of a warrior, and that's rare. You're someone who deserves more than just a paycheck. You deserve the opportunity to live out your dreams.
Emily looked at him, skeptical but intrigued. I don't know if that's possible. I don't have the time or resources to change anything. I'm just trying to get through the day, you know? Tom paused for a moment, thinking.
What if I could help you change that? What if I could give you a chance to focus on yourself, to work towards your dreams, without the constant worry about how to make ends meet?
Emily frowned, unsure of what he meant. How could you possibly help me? Tom smiled and leaned forward a bit.
I can help by connecting you with the right resources, help you get back to school, maybe find a new job, something that pays better and gives you more time to breathe. I've got some people I can call. You don't have to do this alone.
There was a long silence as Emily processed his words. Could this really be happening? A Hollywood actor offering to help her completely change her life? It almost seemed too good to be true. Tom gave her a reassuring look.
I'm not going to promise you that everything will be easy, but what I can promise is that you won't have to fight this fight by yourself anymore. We'll figure it out together.
Over the next few weeks, Tom kept in touch with Emily, helping her take the first steps toward a new life. He arranged for her to receive a scholarship to go back to school, something she'd always dreamed of, but never thought was possible. He also helped her find a job that offered better pay, more stability, and, most importantly, a flexible schedule that allowed her to be present for her kids. The changes were gradual but meaningful. Emily found herself more energized, more hopeful. For the first time in years, she could see a future beyond just surviving day to day. Months passed, and Emily was steadily moving toward the life she had once thought was out of reach. She enrolled in a business administration program, managing to balance her coursework with her new job. But it wasn't just the practical changes that were making a difference. It was her outlook on life that was transforming. She began to feel like she was in control of her future, not just a passenger in it. One evening, after receiving her first significant promotion at her new job, Emily called Tom to thank him. "I can't even begin to explain how much this has changed my life," she said over the phone. "You gave me a chance when I didn't even know how to ask for one. You made me believe that I can have a future beyond just making ends meet. I owe you everything." Tom's voice was warm as he responded.
No, Emily, you did the hard part. You made the decision to believe in yourself. I just helped open a door.
That night, Emily went to bed with a sense of peace she hadn't felt in years. She was no longer just surviving, she was thriving, and she knew that no matter what challenges life threw her way, she now had the strength and support to face them head-on. It wasn't just about the scholarships or the new job. It was about the belief that she could change her life, no matter how impossible it seemed. Years later, Emily stood on a stage, receiving her degree in business administration. Her children sat proudly in the audience, beaming with pride. As she accepted her diploma, she couldn't help but scan the crowd. She found Tom standing near the back, his eyes filled with pride. She walked over to him after the ceremony, her voice thick with emotion. "Tom, I still can't believe this is real. You've given me more than just an opportunity. You've given me my life back." Tom smiled, his eyes twinkling.
You did all the work, Emily. You just needed a little help to get started. And look at you now. Your future is bright.
Emily thought back to who she used to be. Every day had been a struggle. She had hit so many walls that she never imagined she'd climb a mountain this high, let alone reach the top. But Tom's hand had helped her take that first step, and now she could feel it. She had reached the peak and was opening a new chapter in her life. "Is this really my life?" she thought. She had started to believe in her own strength and determination. She was so different from the tired, hopeless woman she once was. Now, with every step, she felt a confidence she hadn't known before, and that confidence was just as strong as the belief others had in her. She closed her eyes for a moment, thinking about her kids and the effort she'd put into raising them. This success wasn't just for her, it was for them too. They had seen their mother's courage, and they would learn to face their own struggles in life the same way. "I never imagined my life would turn out like this," she thought. "But here I am, and this is just the beginning." When she realized how much had changed, a sense of peace washed over her. She wasn't just trying to survive anymore. The future was now full of hope and opportunity, and in this new life, everyone who had believed in her, herself included, had played a part. Like Tom showed me, she thought, maybe real strength comes from believing in others, and, in the end, believing in yourself. And Emily Jacobs felt like the world was just one step closer, a place where anything was possible. Emily thought back to who she used to be. Every day had been a struggle. She had hit so many walls that she never imagined she'd climb a mountain this high, let alone reach the top. But Tom's hand had helped her take that first step, and now, she could feel it. She had reached the peak and was opening a new chapter in her life. "Is this really my life?" she thought. She had started to believe in her own strength and determination. She was so different from the tired, hopeless woman she once was. Now, with every step, she felt a confidence she hadn't known before, and that confidence was just as strong as the belief others had in her.